Hi guys, so this is day 3 of the 14-day weight loss challenge. This video is really about dispelling any myths around breakfast and how we've been told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, when in actual fact it's not. Commercials are telling us this, cereals are telling us this, breakfast biscuits are telling us this, doctors are telling us this, even some dietitians are telling us that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, what evidence we have got and what studies have been done shows quite a few things. I'm going to talk briefly on those. But ultimately, what it does encompass, and I just want to get straight to it, straight off, is that breakfast is a personal choice. If you want breakfast, perfect, have it. If you feel it energizes you, that's great, have it. If you're someone who wakes up and can't stomach the thought of eating food, then you don't need to have it. There isn't a necessity to have it. What research and studies have found is that people who do eat breakfast are more health conscious and more aware about how important breakfast is when it's from what we're being told. So they're more incentivized to be a little bit more healthy. So they're choosing the healthier options. So therefore they're going to make better choices in that sense. People who skip breakfast, what people have found is they are less health incentivized. They don't really care if it's the most important meal of the day or not, even though there's no truth in it. So therefore they're not bothered. They don't put their health as a priority. Now, to skew that and to kind of change that mindset is, if you're not hungry at breakfast time, then why would you want to eat? Would you force feed a baby a bottle of milk if it wasn't hungry? No, that baby will tell you when it's hungry. Therefore, you'll feed it when it wants fed. We're no different. We may be a lot older, but we haven't certainly got any wiser, because most of us are too fixated on time of the day. Oh, it's breakfast, I must eat breakfast. It's lunch, I must eat lunch. It's dinner, I must eat dinner. Now, these times do serve a purpose, because then it gives us the opportunity to then eat, to socialise and to have some downtime with food and to kick back. But is it really all that important that we eat around those times? Yes and no. Yes, because it's given us some structure. But no, if it's not something that you feel like you want to do at that time, or you don't have time to do. So, structure is great because we all need it. It gives us a routine. We need that as well. But we can't become too fixated on that. And we also got to understand that if we're not hungry at that time, then why would we want to eat? If you feel like your work pattern kind of pushes you into that and you don't feel hungry at that time, and you're probably not going to get anything to eat for 4 to 6 hours later than that, then I would recommend taking something on light, something like a snack, be it a protein shake, a protein bar, some fruit, just something small that you can snack on that's just going to bridge the gap. If by skipping breakfast you are then delaying that time from when you last ate, is that unhealthy? Actually, it's not. And we're going to talk a little bit into the intermittent fasting period now. So, intermittent fasting has been around for centuries. Lots of cultures do it. It has a whole host of health benefits, especially for people that are trying to lose weight, trying to keep into some kind of routine and structure. Because it's very specific, certain protocols are very specific, it can really help create a little bit more of a solid foundation and structure as to how your eating habits could pan out during the day. Now, the one I talked about in the post was a 16-8, so that's 16 hours of of fasting and then 8 hours of eating. In the example, the person's last meal is 8 p.m. They'll not eat till 12 p.m. lunchtime the next day. So it's a full 16 hours of not eating. What happens in that time? Well, hopefully for the majority of it, you're going to be asleep. When you wake up, you're probably going to be getting ready, going to work, and then you're going to be at work. So you may or may not even miss that if you're not someone who's hungry when waking up. Now, if you are hungry and you wake up, you could try this to see how it goes. I'm not saying don't do it. You might find it a little bit harder because you've already got that appetite there. What I might suggest is drinking a coffee. Caffeine might suppress the appetite till lunch if you want to give it a go. For those that don't like breakfast, this could be a good opportunity to then increase that window of fasting, but decrease that window of eating. Now, decreasing a window of eating kind of gives you a little bit of makes you feel a little bit more assertive. I can start eating at 12, but I've got to make sure that I've eaten everything by 8 o'clock. This is also really quite a good way of stopping any late night snacking. Because come 8 o'clock, it's almost like, right, I can't eat now because I'm going to break that fast and I want to make sure I get that 16 hours of fast. Certain religions do that during the year. Muslims do it over Ramadan. They fast during daylight hours. That has been shown to help because they've got a certain time frame in which to eat. It's given them set boundaries. It's giving you boundaries. So you can see if you're someone who's quite an erratic eater, doesn't have a structure, doesn't have any plan, just kind of eats ad hoc and at will, that having some kind of intermittent fasting protocol will help you create structure, will help set some boundaries, and then it will just kind of give you something to work from, almost like a blueprint. So, breakfast, no, not the most important meal of the day. If you want breakfast, go for it. If you don't, then don't. So today's challenge, to carry on with that, is for those that do want breakfast and don't feel like that breakfast is filling you to lunch, what I'd like you to do is start switching food swaps. Take one food out and add a higher protein variant of that in. So if you are someone who likes a cereal, then keep the cereal, but maybe add a whey shake with it. With it being higher protein, it keeps you feeling fuller for longer. I won't go too much into that because that's tomorrow's video. If you're someone who doesn't like breakfast, then try and go to lunch without eating anything and then seeing how that 8 hours pans out for you. Just make sure that you've got something in place. Do not leave it for convenience. If you want some breakfast suggestions that are high in protein, let me know. I'll be more than happy to post some up in the group for you, or I'll attach them in a file and you can download them there and then. Right, okay guys, that's it. I'm going to try and keep these videos short. I don't want to kind of waffle on too much, and I feel like I've got my point across. Any questions about anything that we've talked about, feel free to post, comment, or just message me outside the group if you feel like it's something that you want to discuss a little bit more in person. Until then, I'll speak to you tomorrow.